Israel has become the first country to recognize Somaliland. Following that, the African Union has condemned the move. Now, there's a lot of controversies around this, and I will try to give you a bit of background and why Israel is recognizing Somaliland and why the African Union is condemning it and what are the controversies around it. So now I'm going to share with you the tweet directly from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. I'm going to read also the condemnation of the African Union. Okay, here it is. It reads, as I announced today, the official recognition of the Republic of Somaliland as an independent and sovereign state, together with Foreign Minister Sa'ar and the President of the Republic of Somaliland. We signed a joint and mutual declaration. This declaration is in the spirit of the Abraham Accords, signed at the initiative of President Trump. I congratulated the president of Somaliland, Dr. Abdurrahman Mohammed Abdallah, and praised his leadership and blah, 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 blah. Okay, now the state of Israel plans to immediately expand its relations with the Republic of Somaliland through extensive cooperation in the fields of agriculture, health, technology, and economy. And there is one keyword that is missing from there, which is security. Because now, just like that, what it means is Israel will be able to set its foot or to step in on the Red Sea, having a permanent place for its military and navy and whatever it is, a military base in Somaliland. That's what's going to happen at the and then on the other hand, you have Djibouti, having all kinds of military bases in Djibouti, including China and the US, the French, and many others. They have, I think every superpower has a military base in Djibouti. Now, with this, what we can take a key takeaway is also with the initiative, Netanyahu says, with the initiative of Donald Trump, President Trump. So that means following a next superpower that will recognize Somaliland will be the United States. Not to give you a bit of a background, Somaliland has had this an official relation without having them having an embassy there. They have been in contact and in relation. Everybody has its informal representative in Somaliland. Most of the countries, including the United States, United Kingdom, the US, and others. Okay, now let's go to the condemnation of the African Union and why it is a controversial. Okay. I'm gonna share with you because that has lit a lot of fire amongst the citizens after that tweet was released. Okay, now you can see it. This is the tweet or the post from the African Union. This is the official letter from the African Union. Now, I will just, because the tweet will give you a gist of it, so I'm going to read, the main part of it. The chairperson of the African Union Commission rejects any recognition of Somaliland and reaffirms the African Union unwavering commitment to the unity and sovereignty of Somalia. The chairperson of the African Union, His Excellency, has taken note with deep concern of recent developments. Now, in this regard, the chairperson of the Commission unequivocally reaffirms the long-standing and consistent position of the African Union, grounded in the principles enshrined in the Constitutive Act of the African Union, in particular, the respect for the intangibility of borders inherited at independence. Okay, or you can say inherited from the colonial powers, okay, as affirmed by the 1964 decision of the Organization of the African Unity. Now, the chairperson again says firmly rejects any initiative action aimed at recognizing Somaliland as an independent entity, recalling that Somaliland remain an integral part of the Federal Republic of Somalia. Any attempt to undermine the unity, sovereignty, and territorial integrity of Somalia runs counter to the fundamental principles of the African Union and risks setting at a dangerous precedent with far-reaching implications for peace and stability across the continent. Now, this is the African Union. Let me tell you. Now, I'm not for the Somaliland to get its independence or against it. I think it has to be left to the people of Somaliland. That's where my stand is. But despite that, the African Union, this is where my interest comes. The African Union is hanging itself by its word because back in 2015, we have this from the African Union. I want to show you all the reaction, and I want to bring this one, okay? If it's about ratification, the union of because Somaliland got, let's just be clear, okay? If it's about history, it got historically in June 1960 its independence, because Somalia was occupied or colonized by 3 states. There is Italy, the bigger Somalia, occupying the bigger Somalia. There is the French, which was occupying Djibouti, and there is the United Kingdom or Britain occupying the current Somaliland, okay? That's what we say. These borders are inherited from colonialism. And this is why Somalia is separated in 3 states, okay? But after a few days, when the bigger Somalia got its independence, which is after Somaliland, they united. And that unification was not ratified by the African Union neither. But regardless, there was this, but this is in 2000 somewhere, 2015, 2008, okay? Here is the statement from the African Union. The fact that the union between Somaliland and Somalia was never ratified and also malfunctioned when it went into the action from 1960 to 1990 makes Somaliland's search for recognition historically unique and self-justified in African political history. You see, I was wrong. I said 2015, but this is 2005 fact-finding mission. This is why I say the African Union is hanging itself by its own word, okay? And there are many, regarding this, the bigger fact-finding document also has come out. Look, another one, the 1964 resolution that approved the colonial border is therefore a recognition of Somaliland. The reason is that during the colonial period, Somaliland and Somalia were separate countries with their own borders. So according to the 1964 resolution, Somaliland can be a country, okay? So this is it. This is the fact-finding mission, all the agreements, okay? This is now the UK, between the UK and Britain, those exchange of documents. Now, okay, like another one saying, I'm not saying I support what Israel did, but why is the opinion of the chairperson taken as a stand of the AU? Now, here is the thing. Look, here is a controversy. Now, what's happening is that this, first of all, now quickly after hours, Benjamin Netanyahu released that post on X for the chairperson to come and use to post this later condemnation on the page of the African Union is wrong, because this does not include all the voice of the African Union, the member states, the heads of states, or the member states' voice, okay? That is wrong, number one. And this, number two, this makes it more of an individual, the voice of Djibouti, where His Excellency Yusuf, who is the chairperson, the current chairperson, comes from, because Djibouti is against the separation or the independence, Somaliland being independent. So this makes it quickly the chairperson obliging or paying his allegiance to his own birth country, to his own country, rather than playing a role as the chairperson of the union. All right. Okay. That is number two. Now, number three, here is my problem. Number three, where were you also? What about, this is the double standard for you to come out and quickly to post this. What about when a number of heads of states commit a coup against their constitution and still become and tell us they are the winner of the election? Okay, that's number three. Number four, you can take an example. What about the example of Western Sahara? Where are you? I mean, Western Sahara is informally recognized by the African Union as the 55th member state of the continent. Okay. I mean, we all say there are 55 member states, but it's not officially recognized by the world, the Arab Sahrawi or the Western Sahara, whatever it is. But currently, in the past few months, Morocco has said this will remain under the annexation of Morocco. And Algeria went, on the other hand, is they are in clash because Algeria supports the independence of Western Sahara. And there are many other countries, by the way, including Pan-Africanists, who support the independence of Western Sahara. Now, let me tell you this, all this is, you might ask why this is a problem. I tell you what, and following Morocco, because France has a problem with Algeria, France, following Morocco, went out publicly and put Macron his declaration or his recognition of the Western Sahara to remain under the annexation of the Kingdom of Morocco. Okay, now where were you, the African Union, under your leadership, yourself, the current chairperson? Why you did not condemn France? Because we all know for what reason. France is indirectly leading this continent. You do what you need to do. This is why actually you banned the Sahel states, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Still, more than 2 years they are banned from the African Union because the French government says so. Tinubu went and invaded Benin because the French government says so. Why you do not condemn and forget even Somaliland, okay? The Arab Sahara, the Western Sahara is recognized. I might made with the name, the right name. I think it's Western Sahara or the Arab Sahara, one of it, all right? When it was recognized by France as under the territory of Morocco, why you did not put out your condemnation? Because that state was informally the member state of the African Union, the 55th state of the African Union. Why you did not say so? Now, when Israel become and recognize, I'm not saying, please don't come haters for me. I'm not saying I'm supporting Israel for recognize Somaliland. This should be left alone completely to the people of Somaliland, whether they want to stay with Somalia or not. Okay, that's where I stand for. And Somaliland and Somalia to resolve their problem by their own without any intervention, any foreign intervention, let alone foreign intervention outside of Africa. Even from within Africa, there should not be any intervention between Somaliland, and Somalia. Okay, so my question is the double standard of and the inconsistency of the African Union, all right, and the examples that you are setting. This has to do more of the African Union's fate with Israel, because most of the Africa, I wouldn't say all, but it is taken as a whole, the African Union supports Palestine, which I have no problem with. But you are bringing your own personal interest and this, unfair kind of approach to the union's voice. So that needs to be cleared. That is not fair. That is biased. That makes you to the minimum, for people to continue, for citizens to continue not to rely on your decision. This is why people have no respect for that. The biggest Pan-African institution, they have no respect at all. And this is why people respecting countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, who are taking their own matters, their own issues in their own hands, okay? And trust me, soon these countries will withdraw from the African Union. So my problem here is the way the African Union comes and condemns it and plays its double standard. That's where I am standing. It's not about why Israel recognize why or Israel should not recognize. That's not my business. I mean, to be clear. Okay, now the next issue surrounding is this: who will follow? Now we all know that the United States has already, Netanyahu informed us through his post on X that this is the initiative of Donald Trump. So we expect the United States to recognize it. So it will just give the United States another military base next to Djibouti, another, footstep on the Red Sea. They all are happy. You know what? Guess what? All the superpowers will come and recognize the United Arab Emirates, who is now a hand in glove with the United States and with all these Western powers, have already its base there, and it will just be all those boys from Western powers and others will come and will have their military base, while you Africans sit and just see. That's what's going to happen. And other interesting, I mean, as an Ethiopian, if I don't mention it, it will be not good. Let's see what will be the Ethiopian move next, because as you all know, the infamous agreement between I would say it because Somalia did not welcome it. Okay, it's not my personal stance. I have my own say on this. Anyway, Ethiopia and Somaliland, there was this memorandum of understanding that was signed a year ago, exactly a year ago, and that has, brought a lot of clash between Somalia and Ethiopia, because Ethiopia wanted to have an access to the sea, a direct access to the sea in Somaliland, and then it has a memorandum of understanding with Somaliland. But then Somalia has went crazy and then demonstrated this and that, threatened to go to war, and then they come into terms through the mediation of Turkey, and that was not respected after a while. But things are good, because still now Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed is trying to have a good relationship with Somalia. But officially now, what will be the move of Ethiopia? That is also something, what people will expect. Anyway, this is not something that benefits Africa, because everybody is running to have a military base there. Well, let's see what's going to happen. But this is my view about the African Union, the chairperson. This is personal. This doesn't reflect all the voice of the member states, and this is a double standard. How you played when France recognized Western Sahara to be under the territory of Morocco. You didn't say nothing, and now you come and condemn the move of Israel, this and that. Okay, this is all a double standard. Please play by your own principle. That's when the citizens will respect you. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.